Hello everyone, this is Carla Royal, and today I want to talk to you about the brain. In the last video I did for you, we talked about the brain and I gave you a tip about how to overcome our trigger happy brain stem, and today I want to continue that discussion. And so once again, I'm going to read a small passage from the book called Your Brain at Work by David Rock, and this is what I have for you. Picturing something you have not yet seen is going to take a lot of energy and effort. This partly explains why people spend more time thinking about problems, things they have seen, than solutions, things they have never seen. It explains why setting goals feels so hard. It's hard to envision the future. And when I read this passage, I thought about when Pam and I first went scalloping. We learned to scallop last year, a year ago, and we just finished up season 2 of scalloping. And I just want to tell you how true this passage is, because when we first went scalloping, we went with some friends of ours, and Blake, one of our friends, has done this all of his life, and he was looking over the boat into the water, and he said, "I see scallops." And I looked into the water and I didn't see any scallops. And then he dove into the water and he came up with a handful of scallops. I mean, it's not that easy, but he came up with some scallops and he said, "They're here." So we jumped into the water and Pam and I couldn't find any scallops. And Blake and Vika kept finding scallops. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I find any scallops? Why aren't they right here? Because he, is practically beside him. And it did not take me long to realize that I couldn't see the scallops because I had never seen a scallop alive under the water. I had never seen one. My brain had never seen a swimming, feeding scallop. It had seen only a scallop on a plate and scallop shells. That was it. And so it was very fascinating to kind of pay attention to what my brain was doing. So eventually, I think Blake must have pointed out, "Hey, there's one right there." And finally I saw it and I could just feel my brain getting it, And then I found another scallop. And then all of a sudden, it's like after finding 3 or 4 scallops, my brain knew what a scallop looked like. It had formed that, I don't know, the picture, the neural pathway, I don't know what you might want to call it, but it finally could recognize scallop. And then I was able to see them, I was able to find them. And that's how the brain works. And it also reminds me of a story I heard years ago about when the first European ships came over to North America. And the native people were standing, the Native Americans were standing at the edge of the beach, and they saw a disturbance on the horizon, but they did not see ship. They couldn't see ship, but they did see the disturbance. And so they went back to their shamans, their medicine men, and they said, there's something disturbing the waters. And the shamans came to the beach, and they looked out and they saw ships. And because their brain, this is the story, their brains were more evolved, so they were able to see what they had never seen before. So I tell you this story because these 2 stories, because I want you to know how the brain works, and that in the last video I talked about the importance of focusing on the outcome, focusing on what you want, focusing on the future, focusing on your goals, what it is that you want. I was in a session with a wonderful woman yesterday, and it was our first session, and I was asking her to just dream about what it is she wanted from this coaching program that she's enrolled in. And she just had a really hard time doing that. The first thing she said was, "I don't know, Carla, I don't know." And that is not an uncommon answer that I get from people when I ask this question. I'll often ask the question, if we could wave a magic wand today and you woke up from that, and what would you want your life to look like? And I find it challenging for people to do that because we're so used to seeing what it is we know. And it's difficult to look for what we don't know. So the reason I tell you these two stories today is that I want you to be on the lookout for what you don't know. I want you to be on the lookout for what you haven't seen. I want you to look for those beautiful scallops of truth, of life, of the good, the true, and the beautiful that are in your life right now, right this minute, that you can't see because you've never seen them. And so training yourself to look for solutions, to look for results, to look for outcomes is something that takes intention and it takes practice. And so if you start looking for the good, the true, and the beautiful and you don't see much of it, that's normal. If you start to dream about your future and you don't come up with much, that's normal. And the trick is just to keep looking in that direction. Keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. And as you do that, and as you practice gratitude, and as you really focus on what you can see of the good, true, and the beautiful, when you focus, when you linger there on the good, the true, the beautiful that you can see, I promise that you're going to get better and better and better at seeing the good, the true, and the beautiful that's around you all the time, even in the middle of these chaotic, crazy times. Thank you. This is Carla Royal. I'm a mindset and performance coach. I'd love for you to connect with me on LinkedIn and visit me at carlaroyal.com. Thank you. Have a great day.